Hello and welcome, Team Phoenix. This is the social sales engineer, the best from the presets realm. Today I'm alone, and that's why I do the introduction. So I don't have my co-host here, I have to say. I'm not alone because I have Alvaro Pérez with me. I hope you excuse me sparing your middle name.
No
um,
worries, no worries, Patrick. Happy to be here.
it's great to have you. You're associate sales engineering director, right? That's your role, and it's really interesting because you run a Spanish blog for sales engineers, and I'm so looking forward to discuss this with you. But first of all, do you want to say some words about you? Do you want to introduce you to the
Yeah,
viewers?
sure,
Right.
sure. The first thing it's my name that all the people pronounce not in the perfect way. So my name is Álvaro Toscano. So Pérez is my second surname. I used to use the first one. So thank you. I always thanks the effort that not the Spanish speakers do when pronounce my name. So thank you for your efforts, Patrick. So I'm no worries because everyone fails when they try to say my name. So happy to be here. As Patrick just said, I am working as associate sales engineer director at IQVIA. We are a huge company selling software to the pharma industry. And I joined IQVIA 6 months ago. Before I was working for other company, for Splunk as a senior sales engineer. And previously, I worked for Axway. During my professional life, I was, before I became a sales engineer, I was working as mobile developer. And then I joined this wonderful role, the best role in the world, and become a sales engineer and go grow in my career.
Amazing. So Splunk doesn't mean you've worked at Salesforce. They got acquired, right? This is something like this is a very
Well, if Splunk has been acquired, I don't know. I
okay.
I was working at the Splunk when it was Splunk. I don't know if they have been acquired or not. Maybe, who knows? But previously, I left Splunk 6 months ago, more or less,
Mhm.
and then started this amazing journey with IQVIA and with this new role.
Yeah, and you said it's amazing. So why are you sales engineer? Why
Well,
this role?
so let me let me tell you a small story. 7 years ago, 8 years ago, more or less, I was working as mobile developer. Okay, I
Mhm.
was working for a small company, and at the same time, I was the ambassador of a technology of a company here in Spain that it was called Accelerator, and they were using their own SDK to develop a hybrid mobile application. I mean, hybrid mobile application for iOS and Android at the same time. Okay, so I was the ambassador here at Spain. I was the only one who knows the technology and started to spread the word about this amazing technology and an amazing product. What happened? Axway bought Accelerator, and they need someone in Spain to demonstrate the capabilities of the product.
Mhm.
So imagine I was mobile developer, and suddenly a company says, "Okay, we need you to demonstrate the software that you are using." So that's how I become sales engineer. That's why how I become sales engineer at Axway 8 years ago.
That's the how. Why? So, but there's a different step, right? So you could say at some point, well, I'm fed up with this, and I want to code mobile apps or whatever you said. So the hybrid app. Um, why then did you continue on this journey, right? So there are certain skills you need to then accumulate and learn new things, and maybe don't code anymore, right?
Yeah, you're right, because I have to say that when I become sales engineer, I didn't know what sales engineer means.
Yeah.
So when I joined the Axway as sales engineer, I didn't know a word about the job that I have to do.
Yeah.
So my idea was that I were going to keep developing something, and then I could demonstrate what I was developing. And the job as SE at Axway has nothing to do with that. So I stopped developing and I start selling. So that's the point. And how I keep the passion on this, I think it's something that you have inside. So because when you are happy with what you are doing and you want to communicate and you want to spread the word and you have this need, at the end of the day, you want to be in front of the customer, solving their problems and also helping them to improve their capabilities to solve the pains that they have been asking you to solve. So I cannot explain that it's a concrete reason to keep a sales engineer, but I think it's something that all of the sales engineers that I know have inside. Maybe they are more technical. Maybe they are more focused on the customer. But everyone that I met has something that want to communicate and to spread to the world.
Yeah, that's nice. And there's something else you actually do right now, right? So you are also you're also a blogger, right? So you decided to put effort into social media. Why?
Yeah, in fact, it is because I have a lot of free time, as all the SEs that I know.
Of course you have, right?
No, sure. No, I have to say that why I set a sales engineering blog. The first thing I have to say is this: it means a lot of responsibility. So it's a commitment that you do with yourself, and you need to have the people that read you always in your mind. So maybe you can have thousands of followers, or maybe you can have only one, as myself, that is my mother. So, but the commitment is to be able to create the content that you think that will help the people who read you. So that's the first. And why I started the blog. So coming back to the story I told at the beginning. When I joined Axway, I didn't know a word about the SE world, the SE role. So, and well, maybe you don't know, but Axway is a MuleSoft competitor. So maybe you know. So
I know Axway, yes.
yeah. So when I joined Axway, I started to search over the web. I searched all day long to understand what my role was what I need to be best at my role. I couldn't find many information. I could find something because fortunately we have books and we have topics to cover. But what I wasn't able to find was content in Spanish. So even when I can read in English and I can speak in English, well, more or less. So your mother tongue is so much easy to understand. Even when we talk about topics like discovery, skills that are speaking in English, the most of the time, the knowledge that you get when you learn in your own language, it's higher because you don't have to think in the other language. I am not bilingual, so I need to translate in my head everything that I'm reading or everything that I'm listening. So when I am learning and I have to learn something, and it is in Spanish, I can focus only in the learning part. Mm-hmm. So that's why I started a Spanish blog for sales engineer, for preventas, as I call in Spanish, just to give my colleagues the information or the learning that I have been acquiring during the time.
That's really interesting. And how does this play out for you? I mean, there's one thing, right? There's Pre-Sales Collective. I don't know how many thousand followers, maybe 20. I don't know. I haven't checked. But this is all international, and I know from my own experience, like I created German content, and there weren't many people like reading and following this, right? because I think it's a niche of a niche. Yeah. How is it in Spain? So with your content, I think what I would love to know is if you had a black swan moment or already, um,
Well,
like something unexpected happening with the followers, right? That's what I mean.
not yet, because in fact, I don't have so many reads or so many connections during the time. I started the blog in March of this year, if I don't remember bad. I have to say that what
2 months now.
no
Like
on March no in February more or less, yeah. End of February,
oh
1st
my,
of March, I don't remember. So
yeah,
and
yeah,
what
so
I
that's
what I'm doing in my blog is I'm publishing one article per week, so there is not so much publishing. But what I was feeling, because I also belongs to Pre-Sales Collective, and also we're trying to improve the Spanish channel in this way. But the problem is that I don't know why we had no interaction between us. So, and what I think that maybe is the reason is that as we don't have Spanish content to discuss, we prefer to discuss in English. So maybe it could be. So what I'm trying to do is, okay, let's discuss in Spanish. We have a huge amount of people, not only in Spain, but also in Latam, also in the USA, that
yeah,
speak Spanish.
yeah.
So we should be able to grow organically, and it's as easy as read and comment. So I will be creating the content for everyone that wants to read. So I will be happy if it works for one person. So no worries at all. But it's strange. I feel more or less the same that you with your German channel. So it's something that maybe we are so used to speaking English and to have everything in English that maybe it's harder for us to change our mindset and say, okay, now I have it in German or in my case in Spanish.
I had a ready German book on sales engineering. It's still in my shelf. It's about 320 pages. It was written in German. And I went to a publisher and they actually evaluated the book and said it could be like something to publish. But after they asked experts, they actually said, look, the German people who are in this role don't read books. They don't educate themselves further in their role. That was essentially what they said, and then they said, "We don't publish this." Right? So I said, "Okay, then I will go with English." And somehow I agree, right? So yeah, it doesn't matter. I hope it works for you. My question is, what's your motivator? So why are you doing this? Right? Why are you attacking this niche, like the smaller amount of
Well,
sales?
I think we are here for one reason. I don't want to be very philosophical and so,
Please
but
be. Do it.
so
I love it.
the thing is that we are here to communicate. So we as sales engineer love at least myself. I love to communicate. I love to be in the center of the scene with all the lights on me. So there is another way to expose yourself. So when you need and you have topics that you think that could help the other people, I don't mind to write an article or to spend 2 hours with you talking about this topic. I'm happy doing that. So because for me it's not an effort, because it's what I'm doing every day. So and you have to sit, you have to write, you have to correct what you are doing, and you have to be always trying to improve and trying to publish new content that it's attractive for the people. But at the end of the day, it's the same that I do, for instance, with my current team. In my current team at IQVIA, I'm sharing all this knowledge with them also, because not all the people knows everything, and you have to be open to discuss and open to new topics and open to train and to be trained. So that's why I do, because I have this passion to communicate, and I think I have been very fortunate in my life. I want to give back something to the rest of the people.
Yeah, and where let's I have two questions. What content is interesting or attractive, do you think? So maybe if you look at Presence Collective or anything that was published so far, what do you think hits the nail best?
I think for us, the best content is the content where we blame the salespeople that they are not doing the right job. No, okay, jokes apart. That could be very helpful. No, I mean, I think the content the content that I where I am receiving more visits in my short life blog is the topics about the mistakes that we are making during our meetings or our demos with the customer. So, and it's because when you read, you are watching yourself doing a demo. So because we always have made that mistakes. All of us have made that mistakes because our job is something that you have to be improving in a day-to-day basis. And if no one tells you that you are doing bad in that and doing bad this, you are not going to learn. So, and when you read this kind of articles, the first time that I read something like that, they say, "Oh my God, I was doing exactly this during all my meetings." So the good thing is that gives you something to think about and to improve. So I think that the most the one that works better. So, and also the one where we blame the salespeople for sure.
That's great. By the way, if anybody of you out there watching this right now, if you have questions to Álvaro, I will get there. Ask them in the comments in the chat, right? What do you want to see as an article, maybe? Maybe if you're from the Spanish world, you can request topics now. That would be great. And the other question I have for you is, I mean, where does your knowledge come from?
My knowledge?
Yeah, so you write about stuff, right? Where does the stuff come from? Or maybe where does ideas come from?
The good thing is that you think that I have some knowledge, so that's a good starting point. So no, the ideas at the end of the day, the ideas come from reading other people's blogs, reading some books, reading some information, having some training. Because I have to say, I have been reading blogs for the last 4 or 5 years, and what I used to do is to read some articles. Put all the information in my head and then put something. I hope it's new. So, but we have great blogs. A great blog from the one from Ramsey, the sales engineer guy. We have also the Pre-Sales Collective. We have tons of blogs. Well, not tons, but several blogs that are quite good. And I love to read their content because this content inspires me to create something new. For instance, the series of blogs that I have been doing regarding the demos that we shouldn't be doing is something that I get from the grid demo training. They were talking about something like that. So I put in my head, I started pushing or putting all the information in my own experience, and then I wrote the blog posts. So at the end of the day, is the knowledge comes from your day-to-day basis, comes from the training that you have doing, your own experience, the experience of others, and talking, speaking, and for sure hearing, listening. So that's where the inspiration comes.
And what about your own content? There is a writing rule that is like specifics, like give birth to new specifics, right? Do your own posts like inspire you to dig deeper somewhere?
Well, in fact, I have published several posts regarding my own content. The one that I published was the title in Spanish was Mamá quiero ser preventas, that is something like, Mom, I want to become a sales engineer. So because one of the things, I don't know if you feel the same, one of the most difficult things that we have to do with our role is to explain other what we do. So what I try with my own content is to, okay, let's explain what we are. So this was my first article. Let's talk to your mom what you are doing, what you want to become. If you are able to explain to your mom or to your son, then the other people will understand. So this is more or less the content that I create by myself. Today I have created I have published a new post talking about the storytelling. So this is and why? Because I have been involved in a 3-month training regarding storytelling, and as I told you at the beginning, you always need to be learning and improving your capabilities. In my opinion, the storytelling is one of the most powerful tools that we have to communicate and to resonate in the mind of our customers. And why can I tell you this? Because I have learned that it's the best way to achieve the result that you want. So if no one has told me, maybe I didn't notice about this. So, but you always, I am an always learning guy. So always trying to improve the capabilities.
Yeah. And tell me more about this training. So you'd say it was a 3-month journey. So how can I imagine happening there, or what's happening there with you and like with the content, or what was this aha moment for you? I said, now I got it.
The aha moment happens when I use the storytelling internally in one of my meetings. So because it was the first time that a colleague told me, okay, no, I understand what you want to tell me. So that's when when the bulb lights on thing and say, okay, this is the way we should be doing the things, or at least this is the way we should be communicating the things. Okay, so I started this training with César Castro, that is an Spanish teacher. This training I have received in Spanish. So and my mentor was César Castro. He also have podcasts and so. So as César Castro said, the fastest way to reach the brain is through emotions. Okay, and the most direct way to reach emotions is by using stories. So it's a very nice sentence, and it's completely true. So and if you think about it, human beings always have been storytellers. So if you look at the paintings on the caves, so that already show that our ancestors use storytelling to make the message more memorable.
Yeah, absolutely. Let me interrupt you quickly because you made a pause. Ramsey is actually here. Hey, Ramsey. Good to see you. Thinking of content is fairly hard until we start listening to the people around us. Then the audience tells you what they are interested in.
Completely agree. Francie is the owner or the author in With the Sales Engineer, the blog that we were mentioned before. He's an inspiration for all of us, and he started his journey as a blogger. If I'm not wrong, at least 4 or 5 years ago, writing topics about SE. When I became SE, was one of the first blog that I was able to read, and I was hungry to consume the information that he was sharing. So, and it's completely right. So you have to think. You start to think in your content until and there is a moment that the people start to tell you, okay, let's talk about it. I have to say that it doesn't happen to me yet, so I am still waiting for the people to know about what they want to hear, or they want to read. But I will keep pushing until it happens.
Yeah, it's definitely a journey. So at the beginning, like you don't, I don't know if that's true for you, but at least it was for me. You don't hit the point, so it doesn't resonate yet with people. But then I don't know what happens, but over time you change how you do things, and then or you adjust, right? And then things come in, and yeah, and fingers crossed for you that this happens soon, because comments and this kind of things are so valuable for you as a creator, and you love creating. And I see like your music behind there, right? So you're an artist in that sense, and I see such a nice match there.
Well, I don't know if I'm an artist. At least I have two guitars.
Yeah. You play them, right?
Yeah, I play. I was playing in a band a few years ago. In fact, we have two records on Spotify, also. So
crazy.
Yeah.
What's the best thing?
The band is called The Strangers.
The Strangers.
Yeah,
it's English.
In English. So because it's something that even when I use Spanish to communicate, for instance, I have been always listening to English. The music that I used to hear was English, and here in Spain I was as the strange guy. So because they say, okay, why don't you listen Spanish music? I say, because I prefer Beatles, I prefer Rolling, I prefer Queen, I prefer Nirvana, I prefer all the music that I love, and all that music is in English. So.
And that means your band is you sing in English? And what type of music is it?
Rock, for sure. There is no other option. You know, the sales engineer are really the rock stars in the company. So I have to play rock. There is no other option.
Good explanation. I like it. I like it a lot. Hey, Alvin. Good to see you. He says, I'm a huge fan of Ramsey. We are three then. And we the sales engineers too. Alvaro, can you share the URL for your blog so I can add it to my list?
More than happy. It's as easy as you write alvarotoscano.es in Spanish, and you will be accessing to that. Later on, even you can find on my LinkedIn profile, there is the link that you can access.
Yeah, you have a nice LinkedIn profile there. It's right on the top. I just checked. It's there. Cool. Where have you been? I'm still interested in the storytelling bit and what you did in your training and how the journey was. But because there's also like a writer quote, like everybody knows what a good story is, right? Until they open the notepad to write one, right? So,
yeah.
We can judge when we see stories if they're good or bad.
Yeah.
But what did you learn about what a good story is when you create one? So what to look out for? Was this a part of the storytelling course?
Yeah. In fact, it was the main part of the storytelling part when Cesar teach us how to build a story to tell to communicate something. So one story to be a good story have to have several topics. The first of them is every history needs to have a hero, and the hero could be yourself, could be someone in the history, and could be whoever. But all the histories needs to have a hero. Yeah. And all the histories, the hero have to have some inconvenience, needs to have some obstacles, some problems during the history. Because if not, nothing happens. If you see, for instance, James Bond films, you always think that he's going to die. Well, you know that he's not going to die, but you always think, okay, no, he's going to die because he have surrounded of crocodiles or whatever. I'm not spoiling. So But at the end of the day, he survives. So the hero had to have some obstacles and some problems to solve. The third thing that it's important, the history needs to have something to learn, because you have to learn something from the history. So there are the three main topics that history should have. But also, if you don't have some emotional to connect with the people that are hearing your history, it's not going to work. So you have to provide the context. You have to provide the introduction of the hero. You have to bring the obstacles into the land. You have to get this emotional, and you have to have an answer from and something to share and to learn from that history. That are the five main topics that you need to have when you are building your own history to teach or to tell to the customer. And this is where the most difficult part I found when I was building my own histories comes, because for us as sales engineer, it's too hard to find the emotion when we are selling software. But for sure, we will be able to find this, because if you put yourself on the shoes of your customer by the end of the day could be frustrating, because the software that they are running right now is not working. They could be hungry because the software that they have to use is old and they have to spend so much time. They could be desperate, so because they cannot do anything, or even they can be happy. So you have to connect emotionally with your customer. And when you have connect, they will be 20 times more open to remember than if you don't use the emotions to communicate. 20 times. Imagine how powerful is this tool.
Where does the stat come from? What's the source?
Well,
this is a LinkedIn comment, right? So what's the source? 20 times. Who said that? You're trainer.
When if we are simply delivering information, that is what we do most of the time.
Yeah.
The customer minds is disconnected from the content.
Yeah.
So there are some studies. I think I need to get the study, but I think was Harvard. I don't remember, but I promise that I will put on the article. That is that our message is 20 times more memorable when we tell a story than when we simply deliver the information.
Yeah.
And when we are in front of the customer, the first thing that we need is to get his attention. So if we don't have his attention, we will not have influence. And
are you okay doing an example? So first, maybe getting Lydia in. Hi, Lydia. Hi, just popping in to say hello, and I'm sorry, Alvaro, that we won't be able to talk. I'm not sure if you have answered this already, but how do you find the time around content creation as the day job? Also, hi from the plane. Hi, Lydia. Nice to see you. Yeah, Lydia is on the plane. That's why she's not here, obviously. Okay. Have you answered this? No. How do you find the time? How do you prioritize? Do you write at night? And what does your spouse say?
From I have 1 hour from 3 to 4 a.m. No, I'm joking. So, well, at the end of the day, I try to plan because if you don't plan, if you don't schedule your time, you won't be able to do that. So for me, writing the post of the blog is something as important as my job. So what I try to do is to every day in my calendar, I schedule some time for the creation. I reserve some time for all the topics that I need to do. And they used to be at the first hour in the morning. I should wake up at 6 in the morning. So and even maybe you don't believe me, but I do some exercise even when I'm so fat right now. So, but what I try to do is to
Yeah.
to run half an hour or to walk 45 minutes, and then I came back to my home and start working on the topics previously before I start working. So I have 1 hour and a half where I can schedule the time that I'm going to be spending writing. And the good thing for that is that what I try to do, I'm not so good at this yet, is to write several articles together, and then I have 2 or 3 days for write these several articles, and then reviewing and scheduling the publishing. So is for me it works better to do it that way, because when you start writing and you start thinking, it's easy that you can write several things instead of only one.
Yeah.
So, but it's something that I have to improve. So maybe Ramsey, that was previously in the call, could give us also one clue about how we did, because it's something that I need to improve also, because as we were discussing previously, Patrick, I will be starting a podcast soon. And also I need to schedule this time to have this time slot available. But Lydia, I'm not going to lie you, it's becoming hard, because it's something additional to what you could be doing as sleep or just watching TV or watching Netflix. But it's something that I have the commitment to do, and at the end of the day is what I'm doing.
I love your process, and then from a theoretical and author suggestions perspective, it's amazing what you do, because you have a cadence, you have a schedule, you sit there every day, and that's the important bit. So write every day, otherwise, it won't become easier, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny. At the same time, I write from 6 to 7 until my kids need their stuff, the lunchbox, right? I need to prepare this. So, and then at 7 is a hard stop. And this 1 hour is like, it goes so fast, but it's so full of energy, because it stops, right? So 7 is coming, like, oh, go on, go on.
Yeah.
So this is when I write the sales engineering book, for example. That I
Yeah.
currently
At the beginning, what my feeling was, what I'm doing here? Just go back to bed. But once you have this after 3 or 4 years, you are you can do it in an easy way.
in the morning. No, cerveza in the morning. Very good.
You know.
Do I want to? How do you plan? I want to know this. So, do you have like a notebook where you plan your day, or is this in your calendar, or to-do list? What is your strategy?
I have different strategies to whatever I want to do. Okay, so I use the Google. I use the calendar of the company for the staff of the company. Okay, and for the blog and for the personal topics, what I use what I do is to use my own notebook. So I have this notebook, and this is the notebook for my personal projects. I mean, so and here is where I list the topics that I want to write about, the topics, the ideas that I have, or even when I'm receiving a training, everything is in this notebook. And then I have another notebook just for to-do lists. So every day I review the to-do list from the day before, and plan again what I have been done. Okay? So, and I have one secret. If I write 5 times the same task and I didn't finish, I won't finish. I delete from my notebook.
Okay.
So if it's
I do 5 days, not as a list, but day 1 over to day 2 to day.
Yeah.
If it reaches day 5, you say I won't do it. Forget it.
Yeah,
And what if it's Texas?
what?
What if it's making your Texas?
Then I go to jail.
With your notebook.
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have time to do that in 5 days, maybe it's not so important. So let's see when it comes again. So I don't have to be focused on tasks that are not so important in a day-to-day basis. So that's what I do. Okay, I put in the calendar. I put in my to-do list, and I read. Okay, I have to do. Okay, I don't. This task I haven't done. Okay, let's do it tomorrow. And other thing that is quite important, and I'm doing right now because I received a training last week, and it's something that I think it will help me so much to improve my capabilities. Is I'm going to start with the 7 habits for high productive people. So I received it. I was in a training last week about this topic, and
It's the Stephen Covey book, right? The book from Stephen Covey. Okay,
Yeah.
amazing, amazing.
Yeah, this is it.
By the way, you're also amazing. This is what Monica said.
Yeah, Monica Galan is like my mom, so.
And
I love her.
Agrees with old school, behavior and pen and paper.
Yeah, but I have to say something. I am a huge fan of pen and paper. And being a huge fan of pen and paper, I'm thinking to move to Remarkable too. I don't know if you know, but it's a device that I tested a few weeks ago, and I'm in love with that device because it's exactly as you were writing on paper, but you are writing in a device. So I have used the iPad with the pencil. I have used digital graphic tablets, and so it's nothing like pen and paper, but they're Remarkable too. Sorry for making this publishing and so, but
I get $1 million from them because you mentioned it.
So maybe they send us something to test, Patrick.
I love this. So I have it's called Gold Digger. It's amazing that you can't get this here in Europe. I think I ordered it from US or Mexico or something. It's an amazing book. I love this for goal keeping. It's like the best I ever had, and I do this since 3 or 4 years. So write goals and to-dos every day, and this is the best. Really, Gold Digger. Like look for this. It's a bit more expensive and it travels a long way, but it's like my secret tip.
Yeah, the thing is that why I'm trying to, or thinking in move to these devices.
Yeah,
is because I have to. Let me tell you a short story.
A story, please.
Yeah, I was one time. We were flying to a customer that was located in Portugal. So I have all my stuff for a demo. It was a very important bank there. And when the plane arrives to the airport, I noticed that I have left my notebook back with all the information.
Can we stop here? So I just want to repeat: the hero is you, right? Context is flight business. You have an issue. You realize something, right? So you have a conflict now. So now please go on. I just want to animate.
Come on! You are a storyteller. So I have to say that when I tell the stories, I used to put more context. But in this topic, as I was trying to do as short as possible, I jumped the context. So what happened is that I forget my notebook with all the information regarding the demo that we're going to do, and all the information regarding all the people that were going to be attending the meeting.
Oh.
So in this moment, when you go there and say, okay, it was one of my first demos, I have to say. Mm-hmm. When you go there and you say, okay, I don't know what to do. So your brain start working faster than usual. So at the end of the day, I was able to run the demo, but the feeling that I have when I forget the notebook makes me do something different in this moment. So what I do right now is I am used to write all the stuff regarding the scripts, regarding meeting information, regarding whatever in Notion or another application that we have, and I have to write in the PC, and I have left the notebooks just to topics not so critical. I mean, so that's the point that makes me to change my behavior regarding the pen and paper a few years ago.
Yeah, nice. And I always have a story structure in mind. So you awake the emotion of like feeling more confident, or like with if I write on the remarkable, right? Everything is in the cloud, maybe. I don't know. I can't
Yeah.
forget it in that sense. And what else did we had for a good story? Something to learn.
Something to learn that you cannot live. You cannot have a backup. So you always need to have a backup for whatever, for your notes, for your software, for your MacBook, for your laptop, whatever. You need to have a B plan. You have to need a backup. So that is the first thing you have to learn, or want you to get from this story. And the second thing is that even when it was hard to solve, when you have under pressure, your brain gives you more power. So if you are able to focus, we have a powerful and beautiful tool that is our brain that allows us to solve the issues.
Yeah.
So be confident with your brain, be confident with your capabilities, and also don't forget the notebook.
I would add one thing to the storyteller thing. In novels, I can only speak from novels. You would also add a goal, but you had this, right? So a hero has the conflict and a goal, because otherwise they wouldn't go through the conflict, so right, go around it. So your goal was I needed to do the demo, so you had no chance, right? But you had to go through like your problem.
Yeah, you at the end of the day, you have to do what you have to do. So I could have called the customer and say, okay, I've lost the plane, so I need to come back and get the notebook. But if you are professional, and your works matter, and you have passion, as I have for what I'm doing, you are, at the end of the day, you found a way. And maybe it's not such as good as you have in mind, and maybe you have to do another topic, or you have to do another meeting. But I think when the people is in front of you, they feel your passion, they feel your emotion. And if you are pretty confident with what you are telling them, and if you want to help your customer, they notice that. And they are more open to listen, even when they say, okay, this guy is not so smart. He has forget the notebook, he has forget whatever. So at the end of the day, one topic that I used to discuss with the people is that, okay, no, we have to convince the customer. No, we don't have to convince the customer. We have to convince the person, the people who is in front of us. They are not customer. They are people. They are person like us. So then at the end of the day, it's a personal relationship with the people you are in front of you.
Yeah, amazing, really good. So, and Amanda is also saying you're a great storyteller, Alvaro. It's amazing to see you use your skills live. Yeah.
It was not prepared, Amanda, I have to say. So I know Amanda. I love Amanda. It's an amazing SE. One of the best SEs that I have met in my life. She's a member of the Pre-Sales Collective also. We have shared a lot of time together, and I have to say that that Virtuoso is very lucky to have her on their team. So I'm happy to see you here, Amanda. Love to have another chat.
Yeah. No, Amanda is amazing. I write the Wise Sales Engineering Leader, right? This is the current book, and she offered to contribute a part of her story, right? So to get the real perspective of a female sales engineer in there, and what she had as a draft and we worked through was really amazing. She is a great storyteller, a talented writer actually. So yeah, So your opinion actually means a lot, I think.
Yeah, sure. Amanda, Carlos, and well, at the end, what I don't know if you feel the same, Patrick, but for instance, when you see people from other companies in other roles, it's more like a competition between them. I think we as SE, with at least for my own experience talking with other SE, we don't have this feeling. At the end of the day, we know what we are doing. It's like the motors in the people who is riding motorbikes. We are a strange group of people doing sales engineering, and I think we are supportive with the rest of us. So I don't know if you feel the same.
It definitely changed. Thinking back 7 or 8 years, I tried to get some more community-like style up with other SEs. And I worked in MuleSoft, right? You were at Xway, and integration was competitive, right? So the big players there, and if you met another sales engineer, you didn't befriend it. So although maybe you work together, right? But you try to hide your own secrets. How do you sell this stuff, or what do you tell customers? So I felt in the past, as I said, 7, 8 years ago, there was a real reluctance doing this. But today, it changed.
Yeah.
I think it's a community now, and there's no fear of or mistrust. So people who don't want to belong to the community, okay, but so many are really drawn into that, and they don't feel like exposing some secret sauce or something, because there isn't, right? It's really your skills. So I really feel with you. It's a community, and people are professional and work with each other, right?
Yeah, it's what I feel. At the end of the day, is at the end of the day is the way that you the relationships that you have with other people. As Ramsey says, open source and sales engineer. So and Ramsey always have the right turn for the topic that we are talking about. So it's like it is. Open source and sales engineer. At the end of the day, we have all the information available for us. So there is not secret here. So there is the way that you the relationship that you are able to achieve with your customer to convince them that you solve the problem that they have. And for sure, we were talking about Axway and MuleSoft. Do you think that when Axway or MuleSoft couldn't solve more or less the same issues for the customer? For sure, they will do. So, but the confidence that you
MuleSoft is a bit better.
What?
MuleSoft is a bit better.
That's why I'm not at Axway anymore.
Okay. No, just kidding. Of course, they work in the same domain, and it's a mindset thing, right?
Yeah.
If you believe it's your product or what you tell the customer that sells it, it's wrong, right? It's your professionality, it's your brand, it's your capability, it's your like abundance thinking, right? So if this is not the right customer, then I go to the next, right?
Yeah.
So
at the end of the day, what I feel is that at the end of the day, you have to be enough. You have to be capable to understand what the customer wants. If you are able to provide what the solution to the customer to what the customer wants, go ahead. If not, okay, let's go to another customer, because it's better to lose a deal than to lose your credibility with the customer.
But this is where it clashes with AEs sometimes, right? So yeah. I feel with them. I've learned to be my own AE in the last 4 years. So that's part of being on your own, right? So and I understood a lot about what they go through, and that's sometimes difficult. But still, I'm agreeing with you. We have to qualify. We need to get happy customers and not just logos, right? Hunt and try to close whatever we think is closable, although they don't need our stuff.
Because if you do in that way, you will be finding what I found several years ago: unhappy customer that feels that you you were not right with them. You were not saying the truth. You were selling something that they were not. They don't need or they don't understand, and it's real. It was happening previously. So I think during the last 10 years, the sales engineer role has been evolving. We all know. So and now our role is so important in the relationship with the customer that the customer only will buy if we are together with them. So and another, I don't know if you feel the same, but I am feeling less technical every day and more conversational with the customer every day. So I'm not as technical as 5 years ago or 10 years ago. If you put me to develop some code, I will spend days to write a single line of code. So because our customer doesn't need that we know the deeper line of code or the deeper capability of our software.
No, and you're right, and you see it like behind you, right? So you see it on the map how it changes, like the communities, the books, the authors, the applications, right? Whatever it is, it's evolving like it spawns like mushrooms, right? To give an image.
Even you have islands. You have this wonderful island here.
Yeah.
It's small.
Spanish island, and yeah.
Yeah, one Spanish island. It's small, but it will grow.
Hi, Natasha.
Hi, Natasha. Wonderful having Natasha here.
Technical and more conversational. Perfect. Yeah.
So the boss, if Natasha is here, the boss is here. So we have to shut up because she's on the call. So.
Okay. Luckily, we are close to the hour, so that's good. Good news then. Thank you for your feedback, Natasha.
Okay, so thank you, Natasha. So I am involved with Natasha on the grid demo strategy. So it's something that I would love to share in the future. But it's amazing. You see the people who has been connecting, or at least they have been asking. I think the game changers in our environment. Ramsey, Natasha, Amanda, very good sales engineer, that we are here just to change the way that people understand our job or role. So we are a community, we are a team building this together, and for sure we will be close to our destiny that could be conquer the world for sure.
I mean, the world, so the role gets definitely more visible, and there's more demand, so people join from the outside. So it grows, and then people want to be part of the community just for that. I think it's not only even for the job, but what's going on LinkedIn alone is amazing. Like what forms there, like the bonds, and people know each other. It's amazing, I think.
Yeah, sure. And I think Presale Collective has done a great job doing that and putting all the people together, because it's something that most of people was demanding. And also there is still a lot of people out there that doesn't know a word about this, because each time that I talk with the people, they don't know a word about this. And for sure, we have to build our own community. We have to build our own way to do the things, improve our capabilities, and work together to make more visible our role in all the companies, because I think it's mandatory, not only for us, but also for our customers.
I think this is an amazing cut to the show.
It's an amazing sentence to finish, right?
Yeah, or what else to say, right? We can only destroy it with something stupid.
Okay, so
it was such a pleasure having you here. Everybody can say some last words or life tips if you have. Like, do you have some hacks for life? One or two that you want to share?
Well, the tips that I would share with the team is learn to tell stories, because it will help you to improve your communication with the customer. Mm-hmm. And the second tip that is the most important, be happy. So in life, nothing matters but being happy. So
my wife always says being happy is a choice. Right?
yeah, and I agree. I agree. You can choose to be happy or not. And in my point, I choose to be happy.
I can see that. It was such a huge pleasure having you here. The hour is gone by like nothing. Guys on the screens, thank you very much. Join the Little Phoenix, so subscribe to our YouTube channel. Ask us something, even if it's a recording you watch. It's a pleasure having you here. And see you next week. Bye bye.
Bye bye.